Hello everyone, welcome to NovaSelfRISE, the podcast where skilled professional immigrants share their stories of rise in their careers and in their aspirations as an immigrants, but also as professionals. Today, I'd like to thank you all for tuning into the next episode, and I'm so excited to introduce you to our new guest, Yin Zhang. And she's the founder of a wellness brand, with a very strong purpose-led business. The business is called MenoMora. And we will be talking a bit more, and I am so excited to have you here because you have an experience as an immigrant in New Zealand and an experience of the corporate ladder as well as getting into the business, and such an interesting story. So before probably we'll kick on further, if you don't mind, can you introduce yourself?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, Sal. As you've introduced, my name is Yin. I have been in New Zealand for a very long time. I lost count already. But I came here as an international student from China, studied at Massey University down in Palmerston North. A town is known for crazy uni students. And then I never imagined that I would stay in New Zealand. My idea was finish my study and then I would go back to China. But life has led me to not only being in New Zealand, settled down in New Zealand for so long, but my whole family is here. So this is my home. So very recently I started a brand helping women navigating the menopause stages. So it's only just started, but very, very exciting journey so far. So I am looking forward to seeing how this exciting journey entails for me.
Oh, beautiful, exciting. And New Zealand is now home for you, as you mentioned. And it is so interesting the way you started. You came as an international student and then you decided to stay, and then your family is here now, and your life is in New Zealand, and now you can proudly probably call yourself New Zealander Kiwi.
Even hold a New Zealand passport.
That's right. Which is a milestone for lots of immigrants. They once you get moved, the next stage is probably how you get to the residency and how you get to the passport and what does it mean. But before we jump into further discussion of your path, I'd like you to have a look at that point when you actually moved from China to New Zealand, and our identity is our power, right? And sometimes at the beginning, because we need to adapt, we need to settle, we kind of lose a bit of track of how we feel our identity and how we get that feeling of belonging. So can you share a bit more your story and how you dealt with it?
Yeah, sure. So I think I managed to get my identity back reasonably fast. So when I first came to New Zealand, as one perfect example I can think of in the identity topic is, you give yourself an English name, right, to try to fit in. So I did the same. I give myself all sorts of English names. I tried not just one, like a few.
Okay.
Just to see which one makes it better. But I was very lucky that I get to stay with a really influential homestay family. So my homestay father, he used to be the pro-vice chancellor of the College of Science at Massey University.
Oh, nice.
So he told me that you don't need to give yourself an English name. You are you. So it's better to keep your identity in this different or westernized world, because then that's how people recognize you. That's how people remember you. Yes. So since then, I get rid of all my 12 English names, and then I was just being in for all this time. Nice. Yeah, people remember my name. I guess one lucky thing is my name is easy to pronounce. Yes. So yeah, it's.
Oh, I can totally relate. Yeah. My name, and especially my surname, is quite unique in this space. Although back home it's not. And I tried to use L for a while, and people started asking me, how do you spell it? I'm like, whatever, I just go with my name, so I can totally understand and relate to your point. And it's good that we know you as Yin, and it's really, as you said, it's part of our identity.
Yes, exactly.
And that's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Your name is your identity. Don't try to give yourself a different name. At least that's the advice I'd like to give people is. You come here, you try to get used to the culture, but at the same time, I think, because I think New Zealand is a very respectful country, and people generally like to remember your original name. That give them a sense of, being authentic and being true.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what moment you felt that the feeling of belonging, that you are part of Aotearoa now, how did you get through that once you figure out that, okay, you're staying with your own name and you are really settling in? And at what point you thought, yes, now I feel that I'm Kiwi?
That's a very interesting question. I don't think I've ever fully felt that I'm a Kiwi. But I do feel New Zealand is home. I think the turning point would be the time when I got my whole family here. My mom and dad, my brother, everyone is here. So then I see this as home because of family reasons. Yes. But do I feel that I'm a Kiwi? I don't think so. Deep down, I still feel I'm Chinese.
Yes.
So I don't think that can change.
Your identity, the feeling of your background and a power out of it, right? It gives a bit of probably the feeling of belonging to back home, to your own culture, but still, as you said, feeling New Zealand as a home.
Yes, I feel more comfortable being in New Zealand nowadays, as opposed to living in China, for example. I think main reason is here you have got your networks all established, whereas back home, my original home, I do still have friends, but they are not the same as the network that you build when you are adult.
Interesting network.
Yeah,
this is very important, especially at the initial stage of the immigration. And what would you recommend to yourself to get there quicker, to build those connections stronger, and especially for the professional development? What would you recommend in terms of networking?
For new immigrants, I think networking can be challenging. but if I think about me, my personal experience, try not to stick to the same, like where the same Chinese group
your own community.
Your own community. Try to get to know different communities, different culture. Try to interact with people outside of your community, because only you do that, you get to widen your scope or your experience, to know other culture, other people, and build your network beyond just within your community, because your community can be quite limited. Everyone is new, so get yourself out there. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of people laughing at your accent, or sometimes you can joke about it. Make fun out of it. And people would love you for that. They would love to for them, that's a interesting experience, interacting with your identity, your culture. Get to know your food, or your what's happening in your life.
That's for sure. I totally, again, can relate to this, because I can see both type of people here in New Zealand, the ones that get stronger with their own communities and prefer to be in that, and the ones who are the other way around, trying to blend in and learn other cultures. And being open obviously helps in networking. And in terms of the communication, one of the tips that you mentioned is to joke, because it brings a bit stronger, makes the connection even stronger, right?
Yes.
But what else in terms of communication you think is very critical to get your kind of settling and feeling of belonging? What do you think is important in the communication?
What do I think is more important? Is very important. I think when you go out and you communicate, so I think I've already mentioned, don't be afraid of just being open up and talk to the people around you. And two, you don't have to be the talker, you can just start being a good listener. So don't feel, am I doing a good job? Just being quiet. You can be quiet and just listen and learn, and observe, because that's a part of the learning process.
Yes.
Yeah. And as you are listening, you're learning, you're observing, you get to know, okay, these are the topics that people like to talk about. These are some interesting stuff that's happening. And then you can bring those interesting conversations or the things you learned to maybe the next group. So you build on your conversational content, if that makes sense. And then once you have that confidence, one day you will just be able to open up and talk. And try not to stay on the surface level conversation. Surface is good, like you have to greet people. How are you? How's your day? Beautiful weather, crappy weather, whatever. But try to find something that you can build a deeper conversation. It can be about your culture, can be what's happening globally at the moment, and it can be personal stories, and try and be genuinely interested in other people's story as well, because at the end of the day, if you are the only one that on the show, then the show ends fast, right? Be genuinely interested in other people's story, other people's talks, and have that genuine interest, I think, is quite critical.
Oh, I agree, totally. Can we now talk about your career path and the way you navigated your journey in terms of blending in your career, and what was your thinking around how you are building your career path? If you can give a bit of background.
Yeah, sure. I have to start like from the right beginning when I first came to New Zealand. I came here with the intention of studying finance. Thinking, because that's what all Chinese students come here for, that they study a business degree. I'm not saying that business degree is bad, right? But if I did that, then very likely that I would not have a career in New Zealand. I would probably be struggling to find a job here. And as I mentioned earlier, I was very lucky that I had a homestay dad who's the Vice Chancellor of the College of Science. So he said, let's pause for a moment and think about what would set you up for success from the right beginning. Like what degree, what major you want to study to give you more opportunities to get a job here in New Zealand. So then we explored a whole bunch of options, and in the end, I ended up choosing food technology as my degree. And because of that, I didn't have to try really hard to start a career in New Zealand, because it's a short demand. All of us, all the students from my year, they all found a job, or they all get headhunted before they even graduated, before we even graduated. So we all had a job before graduation.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that decision was very
important,
helpful and important for you. Even at the graduation, you didn't have to worry where you're going.
That's right. So I know we were talking about how we settle in professionally, career-wise to New Zealand. Having a good starting point, finding the right thing, I think is more critical than settling in. Or try to settling in, because if in New Zealand we're immigrants, right? We are not in an advantage position unless our skills are on the shortage list, is what the country, what the markets are seeking for. Yeah. And then once you are in the right spot, then the rest of it is actually relatively easy. Yeah, you will just be building up your career as you go. Yeah, and yeah, that would be that's my experience.
Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting. And how did you decide that, this is what I see in New Zealand and this resonates to what I want? When you made that decision to go into the food industry, what helped you to understand that this is the right choice for you?
Yeah, a very good question. As a young student, I know nothing better. That's my honest answer. I knew nothing better. So that I think that ties into our earlier conversation about open up your network or get to know people here. Because if I stayed within a little Chinese community as a student, I would not know anything beyond doing a business degree here.
Yes.
Yeah. But because I had this homestay parents, and they are able to give me advice and say, hey, you should do this because this is on the shortage list, because they know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on the shortage list. You would have no problem finding a job. And it also said, and you basically can travel the whole world, because at Massey University, the university I studied at, this is a top-ranked degree. So you would have no issue to find a job later on. So I knew it because I was told. Yes. So for young immigrants or people who are planning to come to New Zealand, make sure you open up, you get to know some people who can advise you, because it's not about what you know, what you don't know. It's about the key influential personnel that you meet in a new environment, a new country, who can really change your journey here.
You had very strong mentor at the beginning, and talking about the mentorship and the relationship of an influence of those people on us. Can you maybe reflect throughout the career? Obviously, at the beginning, you had a strong mentor, who was your one of the people who knew you before you started the studies. But obviously, in the career as well, you'll probably have people who helped you to navigate once you settled in the career. And how did you get your experience, like an adjustment, not the settling, but adapting to the needs and building those mentorship relationship? Is there can you brief me on those experiences, if you had any?
Think about my career path. I think at each stage I would have I did have a good mentor. Maybe I'm a very lucky person from that perspective. So, well, first of all, there was something called physics by attraction or attraction of physics. I can't remember the exact term, but the mentor, for you to find this mentor also need to like you.
Yes.
It's about like finding each other.
Yes.
Yeah. So then obviously you keep your true identity. You being yourself. Don't try to be someone else or try to please people, or you just being yourself. And also obviously working hard. Like you do need to deliver. And then those mentors who see your potential and they recognize you and they see your potential, they will come and approach you. Yeah. And then they will be very happy to give you advice and take you to the next level through like promotions, for example. So if I think back, as example, I was working for DSM, which is probably the largest company in multiple sectors. It's a very big company, global company. So I was there as a development technologist to start, and then I really want to get to know the business side, right? To build a well-rounded
understanding,
skill set. Understand the business. So then there was an opportunity raised at that time that I just felt that I should give it a try. So and then the person who gave me the opportunity, he was the general manager of that particular unit. And because before that we already built quite a good rapport, like he understands my capability and personality, and I know him quite well. So then I approached him. Like for me, sometimes people think, oh, then I should perhaps go to my manager go to my there's so many layers, but because of this mentor kind of relationship, I can approach him directly. Maybe not so formally, you don't have to be very formal about it, but you can just say, hey, I'm thinking about that, I think it'll be good for my career, and I am very keen to give it a try. What do you think? And then my mentor would see that this is what I want. He knows my need. And yeah, then I got that job. So from there, it opened up my view or knowledge or understanding about the business side of any business. So that gives another tool, allowed me to, let's say, start my own business, for example. Yeah.
So the skill sets, you mentioned briefly that obviously you need to deliver and you need skills to make sure you deliver those, but also, as you said, we need to have those proper relationships, so when the right opportunity comes, you kind of have a go and build on it, right?
Yes, exactly.
So talking about the competences and skills, what would be your recommendations and what helped you in your journey to kind of shape you the way you are?
My skills and competence. I think, well, first of all, we have to have the right attitude, right? I want to do this job and I want to do it well. That's step one. And two, it doesn't have to be perfect from the beginning. Like, you do a job and you want to succeed in it and build up your competence and your skill set. It doesn't have to start from the highest level. You can build it up. Take little step by little step. So start from something small and then build your confidence, and then try something a bit harder and then build more confidence. And same time, don't be afraid of stepping out of your comfort zone. So let's say you have a job that requires something that you probably don't know or are unfamiliar with. Don't be afraid of it and give it a try. No one is expecting you to do it perfect first time. Give it a try, and then all of a sudden you are in the next level. But also same time, stay grounded. I'm here. Don't try and be there, because then it's a gap too big. Then you may end up hurting yourself or feeling really disappointed. So that's the advice I would say. Build your skill set and competence step by step, a little step by little step. And eventually, before you realize, you get there.
So powerful. I agree. I totally agree. I think lots of root cause for procrastinations, for being low, starts of setting those expectations high. And then, interesting. It's very, very powerful. I agree. So, and in terms of the soft skills, in terms of, you mentioned that you moved from the product development into the roles that helped you to build on the business documents, right? And so in that space, how did you navigate your decision making, or what helped you the most when you were trying to get that new type of skills and understanding?
What helped me to get this new skills? Does motivation? Is motivation a part of it?
I think yes.
Yeah. So let's say I used my example as why I started MenoMora, right? What shaped me to make decision to go on this path? It is motivation. It is the opportunity you see that it's going to make impactful change. You see that that's something that needs to be done. you see that you're probably one of the best person to make it happen.
Yeah.
And then that will shape your decision to go on the path that you think is going to make impactful change, whether it's on you as a person or on other people's lives. Yeah, for on that point, for my experience is I went to health and wellness expo. Oh, that's probably another thing. Yeah, try to explore things, because if you don't explore, you will never find the motivation.
That's right.
Yeah, go and explore. Don't be afraid of exploration. So I was there and accidentally bumped into a presentation by a lady who's talking about menopause. So she's done her research, consumer research on women going through menopause. I was there listening to her speech. I was thinking, that's what I should be doing. Because one, it made a lot of sense as why I was feeling like so off. That was like a spark, say, hey, that's why you are feeling off, you know, you are going through perimenopause.
Yeah.
But two, I was thinking, if I didn't know what going through the stages of menopause are like, being in the health and wellness industry, there's maybe thousands of women out there who also don't know.
Yes.
Then I feel like that's my purpose. That's my mission. So I can do this. I have the skills. I have the knowledge. Now I have a deep personal motivation to do this. Then who could be better to do this job? So then, I came back, quit my job. It wasn't an easy decision because I still have 2 kids to take care of, financially support them. But the motivation was so huge to make me so brave to overcome all the things that could drag me down, and made the decision to move to this direction. So, yeah.
Wow. Very inspiring. I think understanding, as you said, the spark and having it your key driver to make a next bold move is obviously very, very exciting, inspiring, and a bit nerve-wracking probably at some point, and which resonates quite a lot with the decision people make when they immigrate. Let's say, especially those who already had a life, like mid-career people, they kind of need to restart all over again, and then you have the responsibilities, family, kids, careers, etc. So in that moment when you had that spark, and when you decided, okay, this is the way I'm going to, what feeds you on your way? How you can find the strength when you're kind of moving forward? That's probably something I hear a lot when people get through that excitement. At the beginning, we all kind of excited how New Zealand is beautiful, we meet new people, but at some point we kind of get a bit low, and then to get your way back, what is in your business, in the way you kind of getting through your purpose, how you get there?
Yes, that's a very good question. End of day, it's the end, it's your vision. Like any change that you make, especially the big changes, as you mentioned, change location to a new country, or for me, it's changed my entire career path, midlife. Because there's things that you have to compromise, that you have to get rid of, or you think there's so many things you will lose. As a new immigrant, I'm sure you will lose all the establishment that you built in your original country, right? For me, it's all the financial stability and all that. But what keeps you going and is the stuff that you're going to gain in the end. Right? You know that you're going to lose all that. But if the stuff that you're going to gain in the end are more motivating or sounds better than the stuff that you're going to lose, then that's what keeps you going. So of course everyone will go through the ups and downs. Like in my business so far, it's like a roller coaster. There's so many moments I'm doubting myself. Am I making the right decision, or am I on track? But then keep reminding yourself about the vision, the goal, the end result. Like for me, it's like, well, if I can build this very valuable brand that can help so many women having a smooth transition through menopause, going through these difficulties and ups downs mean nothing comparing to the final goal that I can achieve. So that's what keeps me going. For immigrants that come here midlife, if you see, okay, I'm going to have an establishment here in New Zealand, in this beautiful country, maybe away from all the chaos that's happening. They're part of the world, happy kids, and lots of freedom. And if this is the end goal, then that just keep reminding yourself about that goal.
And what is your vision? You mentioned it helps you to have that vision in your mind and helps you keep going. Can you share a bit more about the vision you have for this really purposeful business you are building at the moment?
Yeah, sure. So our vision is empowering and caring women through every stage of menopause. So it sounds like a da-di-da-da, a very it means probably nothing to a lot of people, but to make it simple, our vision is change the way menopause is understood and seen at the moment, because most of us see menopause being a very negative thing. It's like, oh, that's the end of my reproductive years. I'm getting old. It's going to be miserable. But it doesn't have to be like that. So we want to almost redefine the word menopause. So women, if you think about women in that life stage, they have loads of experience, wisdom, right? They have good network. They are financially more independent. If menopause is not in there or dragging them down, that could be the best years of their lives. So that's what we want every woman to experience. We want every woman to know that's possible. That's something that every woman should deserve. Right?
Yes.
Because with science and medical, whatever, we are living longer and longer. It's just a matter of time.
Yes.
Right? So having a big chunk of our lives living with ease and joy and good health, I think is going to have a huge impact on every woman's life in general.
That's for sure. And I think it is really important if you can remove the noise and disruption you get in that stage. Obviously, that is, and it's we're talking about years of that change stage, right?
Correct.
Yes, this is really, really powerful, and I hope that the things that you are doing, you'll get more and more proof that you are on the right path, because it also helps when you are kind of getting your own signals and getting the feedback from the market and making sure you are kind of fitting it right.
Yes,
and I think the purpose is for sure very strong, and for women, and also for the overall the way you talk about this is also quite in line with what immigrants are doing as well. They are changing their lives, changing what has been settled, and you want to remove one of the things that at NovaSelfRISE we're trying to achieve is to remove the distractions and focus on things that can move you up and overcome those
That's right.
disruptions.
Yes, you only can perform or think properly is when your health is under control. Like if you're feeling pains or downs, or it's definitely a huge distraction in your, I guess, your life or your career or whatever path or journey. In whatever country that yes.
One question that I wanted to ask you, and probably because you are here for almost 2 decades here in New Zealand, did you ever, and because I hear a lot that lots of New Zealanders move out as well, so for you, having New Zealand as a home, what was a key, like a motivation to really continue on and be in New Zealand and stay, not move somewhere else, let's say, or reconsider some like other options? Can you have a go with that question?
What keeps me here instead of some other countries, one is it's a beautiful country here.
Yes.
Right? It's you don't need to worry about the quality of food, or you don't need to worry about the quality of water. Pollution is very minimal here. So I think you've got your fundamental things, essentials taken care of.
Yes.
And also, what keeps me here is, as you said, the establishment that I've already built.
Yeah.
You know, my families, my networks, my friends, and now my business. It's all here. There's no reason for me to get rid of this and move to a different, a bigger outcome. Right? I'm sure you'd make change for a good enough reason. So there's no good enough reason for me to get rid of this or leave all this behind to reach something better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Does that make sense?
It is. It is a very nice response, and I can relate as well to this because having your network, your friends, your family, it makes a lot of difference. Especially recently, our sister-in-law and her family moved into New Zealand as well. Things became like you feel it more home now when family is around, when friends are around. So it is very, very powerful when you're all together. Interesting. Yes. And regarding the your way of looking at your journey of that career path, building your business and that vision you have around your business. So what is what helps you to balance like your connections, friendship, family, motherhood? Like how you juggle all your boxes right now when you are in this important change moment.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a very hard juggling task, especially at the moment when you are in the middle of a massive change.
Yes.
So my trick is try not to juggle everything all at once. Your priorities day by day can change.
Yes.
Yeah. So for example, if you are working on your business for this week, this can be done during the hours when kids have gone to school, right? And then your mother duty can be done when kids come back.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, prioritization is the key, I would say. Don't try and juggle everything at the same time because they don't need to. Yeah, things can be done in a, I guess, priority order.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, don't expect you do everything perfectly because nothing is perfect and no one is perfect.
Yes.
Allow yourself to fail or make mistakes in the things that you do, and just make sure you don't make the same mistake twice or three times. And so that would be my strategy overall.
Yeah. And how do you fulfill yourself, and how do you take care of yourself when life is busy and things are moving?
Well, initially, I think as a lot of women, taking care of myself is on the bottom of my priority. I mean, talking about priority. But then, since I am going through perimenopause myself, it kind of forced myself to spend time on my own health and wellness journey. And then so my way of doing that is every day, certain time, this is my time. So I either go for a walk or go to a gym or just having some quiet moment scrolling my phone, you know, have your own time. Yeah. And also know your know your body, what works for your body. Whether it is a gentle exercise, or whether it's just a chatting with your friend on the phone, or whether it's just lying down there having some bathing. It doesn't have to be like big things that you do for yourself. Like you don't have to go on a retreat every 3 months, but just little things and you can do on a daily basis. And remind yourself, this is my time. Give yourself your time and do that small thing. And you will benefit from it after all.
It's so important.
Yes.
And for mothers, for women, and for business women, and women who are dealing with their career path as well. And shifting us from on that priority list further up is one of the things that I think helps.
Very challenging.
And very, very challenging. I agree.
Because you constantly having kids come in, Mom, I need you to do this, or maybe your husband say, okay, you come and help me do that, and dinner time you need to cook. And me also living with my parents, they, aging parents, they have their own need as well. So, when there's a lot of demands that you have to go and fulfill, taking care of yourself it can be on the bottom of the list.
But you push it intentionally.
You push it intentionally.
That's right.
You have a time, say just 1 hour or half an hour a day. Yeah, something small.
Yeah,
and do it for yourself.
That's right.
Yeah, small. Yeah, I think big changes often come from small incremental things.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's right. And building on, I call it compounding effect, right? When you can build it on.
Yeah.
And I agree. And if you would look back on the years since you moved, you mentioned once that the time you lived back in China and New Zealand is in about the same range. And now when you look at it, and if you would recommend something yourself at the moment when you moved to New Zealand, what do you think would be your own recommendation for your younger self?
Okay. I never thought about that. What would I tell myself if I can go back 20 years?
Yes.
Don't rush into a relationship. Don't feel that, okay, this is the time to get married. This is the time to have kids. Don't set rules for your life journey. Be more, is free flowing the right word? So yeah, go with the flow, go with your heart, listen to your heart, and don't make decisions just because it needs to happen at that time. Yeah. Because I did suffer in the end.
But I call it learnings, right?
Yeah.
When you have something, and probably there were reasons why you wanted it at that stage. And I'm not trying to ask this question so you kind of try and change anything, but more like really make that message for those who are considering a big change in life. And yes, not rushing into something else, not setting those expectations, or
that's right,
fitting in someone's expectations maybe sometimes.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I can relate, being from Asian country as well.
Yes. Parents, time to get married.
Yes.
And then you look around and see, okay, none of them seem to be good enough, but I guess that one is okay. So let's just pick that one.
Yeah, I can see. Well, anyway, it's really, I think for me, because we met in the university time as well, and it was a bit of, always started from the friendship, and it's still very big part of our relationship is still friendship. We can laugh together and spend time together. So in terms of like not jumping into the relationships, but having those fulfilling relationships probably is something we all search as women, and as men probably as well. So in the moments when we are in the big change, in the big when we immigrate, when we move, when we build a business, when we really changing the path, whether personally or in career or altogether, then you mentioned about taking care of yourself, but the ones who are around us, how you kind of manage the relationships and people who you care about, right? So anything you can reflect on in that space, like helping, so these relationships are helpful, like works both end.
You have to be quite picky on what relationship you want to maintain, because any relationship requires energy and time, effort, to maintain it properly. So be very picky on that. And of course you want to build you have you have this natural relationship with parents, kids, like all the family members, and for that, it's all just natural. Like it's to do with love.
Yes.
You don't have to try and maintain a relationship with a family member.
Yeah.
But with friends, there's a saying that the older you get, the less friends you have, right? Yeah. Just choose the friends that you really like you can connect really well. Like it doesn't have to be a beneficial kind of friendship, but it's just friends who really understand you and you really understand them. You spend a good time together. You support each other during low times.
Yes.
So I'm sure you would have no problem identify those friendships and just focus on that. Don't go wide, go deep and small.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's powerful, and I love friends, and I think the moment for me when I felt I'm home is the moment when I really had strong friendships in New Zealand, and that's really powerful, and going deep is really important in friendships. I agree.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you think I didn't ask you that we had to discuss today?
No, I think you've already asked me some really good questions.
I love your energy. I think it's. I'm so excited to have these conversations, and for people who are listening, as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm really thrilled to have, as you said, deeper conversations with people, because it helps to open up and helps to get the real true stories, and we don't have enough time sometimes to stop and talk those things. So I appreciate your time and your energy, and you have such a purposeful, really strong wellness brand, and the way you talk about your vision is really strong. And I think women around the world in New Zealand probably don't even recognize the moments they are falling off. It's like enlightening moment that you had at that exhibition when you met the speaker. Or,
that's right.
Or for some people, we won't be kind of knowing. It gets subconsciously, and one of the things is to bring it to your conscious level, to ensure you understand what's the problem, so you can resolve the problem, right?
Yeah, most women will relate how they feel to the stress that they are, like just juggling too many things. That's what they will relate to, instead of thinking, okay, I'm early 40s, maybe it is the time that my body, my biology start to shift. Then I need to start thinking about, how best to support my needs going through the transition, instead of just trying to I'm juggling too much, I'm feeling off because I'm juggling too much. It's actually not. In most cases, it's not related to juggling too much.
What signals body can give you so we can recognize that maybe it's time to kind of have more deeper understanding what's happening? When not only from the age perspective, but rather than body signals, can you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. So one is period. So when we have period, we know ourselves that when the patterns start to change, pattern change, flow, like the amount of period start to change, and then if that change is accompanied with like feeling off, just low energy, sleep suddenly becomes a problem. Weight gain for no reason, especially around the midsection. Skin change. Usually these are some early indications as okay, perhaps my hormones start to shift. Just like sometimes people say menopause transition is like a second puberty, right? It's hormonal, it's a fluctuation. But instead of fluctuate and going up, it's, in our stage it's fluctuate, but it's going down. So that's the fluctuation. The fluctuation is almost the same as puberty. Women sometimes start to get breakouts. So these are the early signs. It doesn't.
And when we are having help through the product that you are you brought onto the market, what is it doing to react on those symptoms? Because I know I've had your supplements, and I definitely see the boost of the energy. I would see like lots of positives of having it. But can you please walk through the audience of what the product does?
Yeah, sure. Well, this is sounds like we're doing an ads, but it's not an ads, right?
Yes. I'm just curious.
I love your curiosity. So when we develop our products, we actually look deeper beyond just hormonal change or covering up symptoms. We looked into the fundamental changes even before the symptoms start to show up. So in the end, there are 4 key areas we should be focusing on. So even for audience who just want to know what are the areas that you should be taken care of, here are the 4 things you need to look after yourself. One is gut health. So because there is a special microorganisms in our gut, it's called estroballoon. So they help us to recycle female hormones like estrogen. So it's a recycling plant. So looking after your gut is really, really important. And look after your liver is also very important because liver is our sorting center. It's a detox, right? So when estrogens are used, it becomes used estrogens, our liver's job is to sort them out, break them down into metabolites, repackage them, send them to our gut to get rid of. If we don't remove those efficiently, it can lead to a state called estrogen dominance. So that's when women start to feel moody and the skin start to change. So these are the symptoms that as a result of that. And then another interesting area to look after is our brain. So you probably would not relate brain health to menopause, right? Yes. But it's our brain that works closely or communicates closely with our ovaries to manage, regulate those hormonal shift. So brain health is also very important. And the last one is obviously our ovaries, because that's the producer of female hormones. So our formulation, our products, the essential range, takes care of all these 4 key areas. So no longer just helping with hormone or covering up symptoms, they actually taking care of the fundamental parts or puzzles in this piece to support a woman going through this transition. So that is I guess what we are trying to provide a solution for.
Exciting. Yeah, brain. important important organ.
Interesting. Females are born with quite a different biology compared to males. We have estrogen receptors in all our bodies. Not like men. So that's why we have menopause, and they don't. Or some people say men also going through menopause.
But maybe they have their own hormones shift as well. And but interesting that women is, it's all because we give birth to kids, and it's all different energies, right? Men and women. And I think it's important to take care of those energies properly in its own direction for men and for women. Okay. And I think because thanks for your walking and describing your product line, and we'll put your we'll reference some of that into the video, and just the question in terms of the transition and transformation and the growth everyone is trying to achieve, and the success we are getting or trying to build on, right? So in terms of personal growth, what would be your key focus areas for the immigrant who is moving, maybe who just moved to New Zealand or getting through this initial stage of blending in and adaptation? What would be like key maybe areas you would recommend to focus on for the personal development?
For the personal development, I guess it will vary depending on depending on the individuals. But considering that they just moved in to a new country, new environment, the first focus is settling down. In terms of if they're moving here with family, I assume if they're coming here with a family, then there's settling down itself involves a lot, because settle down means finding which location is good to live in. Schools, if they have kids, whether kids like the school, it's a big change for the kids themselves as well. And getting used to just the day-to-day living stuff, groceries, and where to get things, and where to get electricity, where to get this and that, all that. Settling down would be the first milestone before jumping to another one. So do that properly first. It doesn't mean that they have to, I'll buy a property here. You can rent and see if you like this area, and then if not, then you can move to a different area. Having settling down is the purpose, but don't make it so rigid that you can't be flexible. So that would be my advice for families moving to New Zealand, because it's, to be honest, it's going to be a big change. It's going to be a big shock. There are things you don't like. It's not going to be perfect. So give yourself the flexibility and time to make yourself comfortable. Make the family comfortable is critical as a starting point. That's a good advice. Thank you for that. And I think we are probably gonna pause here. And time goes fast.
Time really flies, and I'd like to thank you for this time and for this conversation.
You're very welcome.
Very insightful, very strong and powerful message that you are building across your business, and very inspiring career and the decisions you made across your journey. I wish you and your family all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us today. And yeah, we will be in touch. Thank you. And thank you very much for all the listeners who made it through this time. And I hope you enjoyed the video with Yin. And we'll be in touch. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to NovaSelfRISE. If you enjoyed this episode with Yin Zhang and found her journey inspiring, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment and share it with someone who you think might benefit from it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you'll never miss an episode full of real stories, deep conversations, and purposeful insights. Stay connected, stay inspired, and keep rising. See you in the next episode.